If you're spending less on the things like investments or honestly anything that actually lights you up and puts you in an abundant energy and a grateful receivership energy, that's what's going to keep you broke because you're just spending the money to get by. You're not making your money work for you. You're working for the money. Welcome back to Wealthy as Fuck the podcast. This is the first episode back for 2026. So happy new year. And I hope you've had a beautiful start to this brand new year. And this is what we're going to talk about today is the whole new year, new you, new all the things when you have these big money goals at the start of the year. And what I've got in today's chat with you is what I did is I actually asked my publicist friend, journalist friend, for some interview questions because I just respond so much better if you ask me specific questions. Otherwise, I'll be here rambling all day about money because money is such a open-ended topic, right? It's not specific. So I've got some questions I'm going to answer as if I'm being interviewed by a journalist right now, which is really going to help you set up your year strong. And the topic is the whole new year, like, are your new financial goals making you poorer? Are they actually making you richer or are they making you poorer? And if you do feel like, I know I earned good money last year, but I'm still now playing catch up from Christmas. I really want to break out of this feast-famine cycle. I really want to get ahead this year. I really want to finish the year with tens of thousands of dollars in the bank, investment projects underway, my money working for me. I want to get ahead. I want to clear debt. Like, I know these are all the goals that you do have, but now the difference is, like, if you haven't achieved them before, whatever you're doing isn't working. So you need to make the changes, and we're going to dive into what the actual changes are, what's actually going on, the unconscious spending behaviors and money habits that are at play, and they're unconscious. You don't realize you're doing them, which is why you still feel like you're banging your head against the wall, or you're just repeating the same cycles that you're trying to start the whole new fresh with New Year's resolutions that you never follow through with. But what I do want to say, if you're listening to this or watching this before January the 19th, 2026, I'm inviting you to a free masterclass that I am hosting where it literally is new year, no more money leaks. So I'm actually going to be helping you discover where the invisible money leaks are that are costing you upwards of $20,000 every single year in leaking money, which is why you feel like you can't get ahead, or you're constantly dipping into your savings, or you're still living in that week to week cycle, payday to payday cycle. Or you're also going to discover the actual identity shifts that you need to make. Okay, it's not just the tangible, practical behaviors, budgeting behaviors, or things you need to be doing. There's actually the energetics and the mindset side, and which is your identity. What you actually need to change at the subconscious level, so you no longer have these leaks and you no longer are wasting money. So you no longer have to feel like you just need the pay rise to get ahead. Okay, so if you're still telling yourself, I just need to earn more money, when I have more money, then I'll feel rich, or then I'll feel more stable. Okay, you've been saying that for how long now? It's time to actually change at the identity level, like who you are, who you're behaving as, who you're becoming. So if you want access to this, go to the link in the show notes right now, or it's plastered all over my social media, and register your free spot. Now, this masterclass is capped at 100 spots. And I can tell you right now, there's going to be as I'm recording this, we're about to go into promotion. So as you're listening to this, there has already been spots registered, and I get hundreds of registrations for my free masterclasses every single time I run one. Okay. And there will be a recording. So you still have to register if you want the recording, if you cannot make the call live, right? And there's going to be perks and bonuses for being on the call live, which is very, very exciting. But make sure you register your spot, okay? If you don't register, you miss out, you don't get access. But jump on this free masterclass. I should charge for this, but I'm not, because I know there's so many businesses and coaches out there with the whole transformation promise for the new year, new you. all the things, but like, let's cut through all that bullshit. This isn't about that. This is about you not repeating the same cycles this year. You're actually getting ahead, and how simple that is to remove these unconscious overspending money behaviors, and also removing the invisible money leaks. Okay, simple shifts that are going to get you more money in the bank, so you don't feel like you have to earn more money. I have to tell you this, and you have to understand this, and I've been doing this work for years now. When you do this work, the byproduct is more money. Okay, you will start attracting, manifesting, holding more money. But I'm not here to teach you how to make more money, because even if I helped you add an extra $10,000, $20,000, $50,000, $100,000 of income in the year, if you still have the same behaviors, spending behaviors, money leaks, you're still going to feel the same. You're still going to feel broke. You're still going to feel trapped. You're still going to feel like there's not enough. Okay. And you'll have the points of like, when is it ever going to be enough? I've been there. I've done that. This is why we need to work with what you're already earning. And the byproduct is you're going to attract in more. The amount of times I get messages from my clients, especially a lot of the times on the clients on like salaries, capped salaries, or like fixed salaries. They're like, how the fuck am I meant to make more money if I'm on a fixed salary or fixed wage? And they message me with back pays, bonuses, unexpected income, gifted money, their partners getting pay rises, or them actually getting pay rises, or headhunted from other companies for the same job with a higher pay package. Like, it is crazy. And then my clients who are on fluctuating incomes, especially business owners, they're scaling their income, they're working less and earning more, because it's the byproduct of when you do this work. Okay, so register for this free masterclass and make sure you're on live to access the perks and bonuses that I'm going to be sharing with you. And as cliche as it might sound, like, make this year your richest year yet. Okay, but you have to decide that you want that. But learn the ways to do that, because what was working before clearly isn't helping you. Well, sorry, no, what I should say is what you were doing before clearly isn't working. Otherwise, you wouldn't be in this same predicament. Okay, go register, and I'll see you on that call. I'm very excited for that. Okay, so let's dive in. Let's dive into, are your New Year financial goals making you poorer? So question number one, you ready? Kim, this is what the interview question. So let's pretend I'm a journalist right now. Kim, you've said that New Year financial goals actually make women poorer. That's a bold claim when every finance expert is telling people to set savings goals in January. What are high-earning women getting wrong about goal setting? I love this. I love this. It actually depends. When you say New Year financial goals, it's quite generic, right? And there's ways to do it that work and ways to do it that don't work. And when it's making you poorer is when you're setting these new financial goals as a resolution. And we all know that the percentage of New Year's resolutions that are kept by people are bare ass fucking minimum. And they're definitely not kept without accountability. So the New Year financial goals that are making women poorer, when you're setting these goals, right? I went to say women, it can be men too, but whatever. It's mainly women listening to this. When you're setting these goals as a dream, a desire, and there's nothing wrong with that, because you need to dream and desire, but when you're setting them without a follow-up plan of accountability and strategy, what happens as time passes throughout the year and you haven't got your set pathway to get there, to make it happen, you're just increasing the gap between where you are and the outcome, the goal. And as that gap increases, because you're like, I'm still not there yet, time has passed, what am I doing wrong? You're actually finding evidence and supporting the scarcity and I'm not good enough beliefs and energy. And all that does is when you hold that energy is you attract more of it. So you're just going to attract more of circumstances and events in your life and a lifestyle where it doesn't feel enough. Okay, so the goals without accountability and the structure and pathway in place to make it happen, okay, that's what's making you poorer. And for an example is mine and my husband's goal this year is to add another investment property to our portfolio. So I've already paid the deposit for the strategy session with the property dude. Well, I don't even know what his title is, right? With the company that does this. And so I've already paid that. That's the accountability. I've done what I needed to do. I've set in timelines. I'm following up with, okay, when can this meeting take place? So you see what I mean? If I don't know how to invest in property without the help of brokers and the people who do this and can have the packages in place and can show me what the ROIs are, all those things, right? So I need to outsource the accountability. That's what I need to pay for. Most people don't they just set the goals and they just hope and wait and wish it all comes true because they're like, I can just do it all myself. So that's one example of getting the accountability. Okay. Now, when we talk about setting savings goals, the right and wrong way to do this, and then it kind of it leverages off or like extends off what I just said. But savings goals, everyone wants the savings goals, but you don't want the savings to be the end goal. And I have done a lot of work and I have taught a lot about this, and a lot of my messaging and coaching has been around savings, but savings has never been the end goal. Okay. Because you know that, like, once you get the money in the bank, if you don't make that money work for you, with inflation rates and the depreciation of cash or fiat in this world, that money just loses value over time. So the end goal isn't to set savings goals. It's the savings goal is like, it's the middleman. It's the step of what do you want that money to do for you? So if you're going to be setting goals in January, it's how do I make my money work for me? What's the wealth creation? And does that require a certain amount of liquid in the bank, liquid being savings? Then you know that that's a step you need to work towards. So you have that money to then make that investment, make that purchase, whatever it is that the goal is for you, right? So the high earning women that are getting, what they're getting wrong about the goal setting is they're making the savings the end goal when it's the middleman. All right. So number 2, let's get specific. You work with women making 10K, 15K, 20K per month who still can't seem to save. They set goals like save 50K this year or build a 6-month emergency fund. Why do these goals fail by February, and what's the actual damage being done? Okay, I even work with people who are earning less than that, and when I talk income, guys, who I help, it's based off your household income, okay? Because you don't have to be a business owner. You could have a wage or a salary. Your husband or your partner could be the main income earner, whatever the household income is, right? That's what we're working off, and on average, okay, the household income is about $100,000 to $120,000 in Australia. Yours could be less, yours could be more, and the principles that I teach apply to everyone. I will preface this saying when I see the principles work are on the people earning slightly more, because these people aren't staying in victim land of being broke. They're actually applying these principles and they're getting faster outcomes. So it doesn't matter what your household income is right now, but I guess I'll talk directly to you right now. Is if it's under 100 grand, get really fucking clear on where you are lacking, taking the responsibility of how much you earn, and where you are blaming governments, society, other people, your ex-partner, your parents, whatever it is. Get really damn clear of where you're blaming them for your situation. If you're going to stay in your victim ego, that's going to trigger you. And good, it needs to trigger you, because the victim in you gets triggered. The victim ego gets triggered. The wealthy version of you, the higher self, the rational thinking that's not emotionally charged, they can see, okay, this is where I'm taking responsibility. This is where I'm blaming. Okay, that's not serving me anymore. Let's make that change. And if you really want to fucking make the change, you're going to make the change, or you can stay stuck. And it literally comes down to your choice. Okay, so why do these goals fail by February? It kind of comes off what I answered on the first question is, well, if you're building an emergency fund straight away, if you're building money in the bank, or if you're saving to get money in the bank as a protection, as a safety net, I'm in scarcity, so I want to build this foundation around me to feel supported, money just reflects you. So it doesn't matter how actually big you build it, or you won't build that big because you'll self-sabotage, because you're the driver in the driver's seat, right? You're trying to drive, or you're trying to build a car around you that's super safe while you're scared driving, if that makes sense. But the thing is, it doesn't matter how safe the car is if you're the scared driver. If you're in scarcity, if you're in worry, if you're in there's not enough, if you're in broke energy, you could be driving the fucking Ferrari or whatever, the Bentley, whatever the fancy, expensive car is, and you still feel broke. Okay, you're still sabotage. So we're not saving for emergencies because that's what you will attract. When you become the stable person, as your identity, as your embodiment, your energy, your nervous system, you won't have the scarcity. You won't attract these situations. And I can tell you right now, there's emergency things that happen. There's I call them more unexpected things that cost money. When you're in a stable energy and these unexpected things happen, you can handle them. They don't feel detrimental. They don't feel scary. They don't create anxiety or stress. You're handling them rather than being reactive and emotional and up and down and all that. And so if you think about it that way, your money just responds to you and how you feel and how you think and how you behave. So your savings goals don't get hit, or they're assigned to fail by February, you're not on track, because you can set the goal, but you're not being the woman who's showing up as that person who already has achieved it. Okay? So number 3, if vague goals like save more and spend less are broke behavior, what's the alternative? What do your clients who build 100K savings buffers do differently? Love this. Oh my gosh, this question, I could do a whole podcast on this question. Broke behavior, save more, spend less. Okay, if you say, I want to save more, and you had 10 cents left in your bank account before your payday, and you transferred that 10 cents to your savings, you just achieved that goal, yeah? Correct me if I'm wrong. You just saved more because 10 cents is more than what you had before. But does that make you feel wealthy? Does that feel good? And I can tell you right now, broke behavior is like, doesn't even do it because they're like, 10 cents, what's 10 cents? Okay. And the whole spend less, being broke behavior, what are you spending less on? Okay. And what is this? You could spend $1 less than normal, but you probably still are overspending. Okay, you could be spending less on the things that light you up or investments that make you more money, but still overspending or spending money on the things that are a depreciation or lifestyle costs. Like you need to buy groceries, you need to pay for the bills to live a comfortable life and the shelter to shelter you and your family. Like there's basic necessities to live a good quality of life, right? But if you're spending less on the things like investments or honestly, anything that actually lights you up and puts you in an abundant energy and a grateful receivership energy, that's what's going to keep you broke because you're just spending the money to get by. You're not making your money work for you. You're working for the money. Okay. My clients who build big savings buffers and start making their money work for them, they have structure. They have structure with how they manage their money, how they handle their money. When the money comes in, it follows my signature money blueprint. It's all allocated. It uses wealth principles to make it work. It's in a level of automation, but you're still within personal power. My clients claim back their money power. Money doesn't control them. They control it. They're removing the emotion around money. They're creating new meaning to money. That they're supported. They love money. That money isn't the problem. Money is a awesome solution that they're constantly attracting more and more of it. Okay. They have self-discipline. They're making their vision bigger than their bullshit. The vision of having their money work for them, whatever the wealth goals are, right? And the bullshit is this bill or this excuse or this problem, whinge, blah, blah. We all have it. Okay. But your vision needs to be bigger, as in, I really should buy birthday presents for all these people in my life this year, and I want to spend $100 each or $50 each because that's what society tells me to do, but that's keeping you broke. Like the vision of, no, I want to invest in property so I can start creating a passive income or invest in crypto or whatever the goal is, right? It's, I don't need to be buying all these gifts. So what are ways that I can still honor and cherish and celebrate people that I love on their birthdays, or have the conversations, or what can I do? Like reduce the spending limit for that, for those gift buying, because you're reallocating the money to your bigger vision. You're putting yourself first. You're stopping the people pleasing. Okay. Okay. Number 4, you talk about money leaks a lot. Yes, I do. Can you break down the most common unconscious spending patterns that sabotage these New Year intentions? What's the difference between someone who intends to save 50K and someone who actually does it? So I'll be going through this in my masterclass anyway, in greater detail, and giving you practical, the practical things you need to be doing, right? But I answered this again in the first question, like the difference between intending to save and someone who actually does it. Like, you got to set the goal. This is where strategy comes into place. You want the goal. What is the goal? How do I get there? Think about it this way. You want to build a house, right? From here, I visualize, let's talk about renovations, because you could probably visualize that. Right now, you're in your home. I would love the backyard to look this way, right? It starts as a vision. It starts as imaginary, right? I want 50 grand in the bank. I want 100 grand in the bank. It starts as a vision in your mind because it's not in the physical world yet. So you start with the renovated backyard. This is what it looks like. Okay, now you need to reverse engineer it and break it down. What actually needs to happen? What needs to happen? Who do I need to talk to? Can I do this all myself? Or do I need to learn the steps and the strategies? Most of the time is, if you haven't already achieved it, you need to go learn the steps and the strategies. The best thing to do is learn from someone who's already done it, who's already achieved that. Right? Stand on the shoulders of giants. Don't try and reinvent the wheel. If people have done it before you, you go and learn from them. This is why you get coaches and mentors, or you go to the companies that help you set up. Like, if I want to build a house, I have to go to a building company, right? If I need to lend money from the bank to get into a house, I need to go to a broker because they know the systems and strategies too. They're going to fast track the time for me to do it. So someone who actually does it, they're reverse engineering the steps they need to take them, and they're making those steps, and they're getting the accountability, right? They're following the strategy one step at a time. And when the excuses comes up or whatever comes up that makes it feel hard, they're dealing with it. They're actually dealing with it, rather than being like, oh, this is too hard, whatever. Perfect. I will give you an example for me is when I first started investing in crypto, all right? And the Web3 space, I had no fucking idea how it all worked. And I tell you, when I made my first investment, trying to get the money across and get it decentralized, I wanted to bang my head against the fucking wall. I wanted to throw my laptop so many times. It was so frustrating. And there were so many times I was like, fuck this is too hard. Maybe it's not meant to be. But no, it's because it's like riding a bike for the first time. You're going to fall down a few bit. You're not just going to get on the bike and ride, smoothly, perfectly. There's going to be some wobbles. Right? You're learning a new skill. You're in top-down phase, not bottom-up. And if you're unfamiliar with that, top-down is when new information comes in, like driving a car. You're very high alert. Nothing's on autopilot yet. Where myself, I've been driving now, almost 20 years. Jesus. That makes me feel old. I can get into a car and I can drive, say, to the shops or something and be like, how did I even get here? Because it was so on autopilot of how to drive. My body knows it, right? But I had to start somewhere. And I didn't give up when it was hard, or I wanted to bang my head against the wall or smash the laptop or whatever it is. So the people who actually do it push through when it's hard because they know they're just learning a new skill. All right, number 5, final question. So it's January 2026. A woman listening to this is making great money but has maybe like 5K in savings, and she's frustrated because she knows she should have more. She's about to set another save more in 2026 goal. What do you want her to do instead? Like, what are the actual first steps to stop the broke cycle? So many first steps. It's not, there's so many first steps because it's your relationship with money. It's this woman's relationship with money, and there's multiple factors at play. Okay, so what's the first steps? She needs to get really clear. So clarity builds wealth, delusion keeps you broke. That's a saying of mine. She needs to get really clear with where all of her money is going, really clear with what she spends her money on, really clear with, okay, how much what is then the goal? What is the outcome? And the outcome is not the money in the bank, it's what the money in the bank gives you. So if it's an investment, or if it's like, I just want that, maybe you can't think beyond just getting 20 grand in the bank, but that's going to make you feel a certain way. So get really clear on like why that amount and what it's going to make you feel. So you've got clarity on the outcome that you want, okay? Where all your money is currently going, because you need to see where the leaks are. There's leaks right now. Okay. And then from that, you're going to get a clear idea. She's going to get a clear idea of where the overspending, where she can reduce the overspending that's not supporting her. okay, where she can redirect her money to get there. She's learning to handle what she has. And then what's going to come up through this is like getting clear on all the tangible, the practical. What's going to come up during this is getting really clear of like the beliefs at play, that money feels hard, or rich people are greedy, or what's like getting really clear on all the money stories and all the beliefs, because your beliefs are your identity. What are these are actually at play? What did you hear growing up as a child? Because that's actually what's running the show subconsciously. You're not even aware of it. Otherwise, you would be able to change it in an instant. Okay, getting really clear on that, because when your clarity builds the wealth, right? When you're clear on it, you know where to go. You know what work needs to be done. And that is the foundation, because from there, then it's like, we'll either go clean them up yourselves or go get the help to fast track it. Go get the coach, the mentor, do the program, get the skills to change. But if I want to drive to a destination and I don't know where that is, I put it into my GPS, right? Or old school back in the day. I am old enough to be that kid that got out the roadmap book and would direct my parents, because we didn't have smartphones or the GPS or the nav man, right? But you need to know how to get there. So you know the destination, get clear on the destination, and then get clear on the pathway. And what's going to be the fastest way there? The GPS works out the fastest way there. And then are you still going to choose the long way? Or you're going to choose like, I can get to that destination in 30 minutes, or I can take these roads and get there in an hour. We all choose the faster, the quickest route. So sometimes, and actually most of the time, the fastest route or whatever to get to your destination is by learning, like getting the coach, getting the mentor, doing what it is you need to do, invest in your time, and it is going to cost you time or money or both. And the more money you spend, the more time you save, okay, to get those skills. So anyway, I hope that helps you reposition how you think, recondition how you think about money this year. If you want 2026 to be your richest year yet, you've got to change at this level. You've got to change your identity. You've got to stop the money leaks, and make sure you jump on to my free masterclass, the New Year No More Money Leaks masterclass, to learn exactly how to stop these invisible leaks, so you can add the extra 20K, 30K to the bank account by the end of this year without needing to earn more. Learn how to change your identity to become the woman who attracts more money. Okay. I can't wait for you to be on the call. Link is in the show notes. And make sure you give this podcast a review. Or honestly, if you have any questions, just come and DM me on Instagram. My link is in the show notes as well. It's Kim Kent _. Come say hi. Come ask me a question. I'm an open book here. I'm here to help you. Honestly, it sounds so cliche, but I'm here to help you have your richest year yet, because you fucking deserve it. All right, I'll chat to you on the next episode.